So see the fifth statement, heat cannot convert it from cold body to hot body. Okay, so general statement we know in everyday life, heat cannot transfer from cold body to hot body. But to convert, to transfer heat from cold body to hot body, what is the requirement? There is requirement of external agency. External agency, such as if we want to, if we heat any object, and keep it into environment, into open environment, then what is the result? The heated object transfer energy to surrounding. Okay, means heat transfer from this hot body to surrounding which is at cold condition. So naturally heat transforms from hot body to cold body and not from cold body to hot body. To transform heat from cold body to hot body, we have to use such as refrigerators and some other devices. That these devices are nothing but the external agency. So this external use of this external agency is there. That's why this process is not spontaneous or natural process. So conversion of heat from cold body to hot body is not possible. And this is the fifth statement. Let's see the last statement, that is entropy statement. Here entropy statement, it states that we know that what is first law says, energy of total universe is constant. But there are certain forms of energy such as available energy, unavailable energy. So available energy means this energy, available energy and another unavailable energy. The concept that we will clear in some next points. What is available energy, what is unavailable energy. But for a while, consider that available energy, the energy one which can we utilize, that is available energy. Here energy is constant, so available form of energy where we can utilize that energy. So available energy of the system, that energy is utilized by some atoms, ions, molecules in the atmosphere. And suppose that any solid is solid. We know that this solid composed of number of atoms, ions, molecules. Suppose that heat is provided, means we are providing energy. If heat is provided to this solid, what happens? These atoms, ions, molecules starts vibrating. And they start to lose their space, lose their place. And due to losing their place, the solid, after some time, after more heating, the solid may be converted into liquid. When if we more heat is provided to this liquid, then after some time the molecule again start vibrating and goes away from each other, and this liquid after some time is converted into gas. Okay, so this is general process, we know this process. So solid is converted to liquid is converted into gas. But at the same time heat is absorbed every time. So if heat is absorbed every time, means available form of energy decreasing, available energy decreasing. It is converted into another form, but available form of energy decreases here. And here we know that solid has some ordered structure. Means entropy is what? It is the measure of randomness. If more randomness in the system is there is more entropy is there. Okay, entropy is nothing but randomness in the system. So entropy is nothing but randomness in the system. We say chaos. Chaos is also disorderness in the system. So randomness in the system, entropy. So entropy, now what is the entropy? If we consider entropy for solid, liquid and gases, solid has some ordered structure. Ordered structure means no randomness, less randomness. Means entropy of the system is less here. Here in case of liquid molecules are the binding forces for liquid molecules are lower than the solid. So if they are lower than the solid, then here more disturbed molecule or more randomness in liquid state as compared to the solid state. So entropy increases here, and in the gaseous state we know that gaseous molecules are they are negligible forces of attraction. That's why these molecules are free to move everywhere. So that's why the randomness is more there. So the entropy of system goes on increasing. Entropy of system goes on increasing here. Entropy of system goes on increasing. Then what is our last statement says that energy of universe is constant, but available energy is decreasing. Available energy, we are providing heat here, available energy decreasing, and entropy of system increases. Entropy of system increases. Up to where this entropy increases? Entropy increases up to maximum. We are considering for universe maximum, and automatically after some time when there is maximum randomness, maximum chaos, maximum disorder in the system, in the universe, the order will be prevail itself. Order will be prevail itself, and this is the last statement, that is entropy, energy of total universe is constant. Energy of universe is constant, but available energy is constantly decreasing, and entropy of system is constantly increasing up to maximum, when maximum disorder, maximum randomness or maximum chaos in the system, maximum disorderness in the system will prevail itself naturally. So these are the second law of thermodynamics, statements of second law of thermodynamics. What conclusion can we get from these all these laws? We can get conclusion that all these laws states that there are certain conditions when one form is converted into another, when this form is there is possibility of conversion of one form into another form, which direction it converts, from hot body to cold body or cold body to hot body, or which requirements are there, what are external agencies there, what are spontaneous process and non-spontaneous process. So all these information that we get from second law of thermodynamics, and it maximum or most of the limitations or inadequacies of first law of thermodynamics can be covered in second law of thermodynamics. Let's see the two processes, that is spontaneous processes, because every time I say spontaneous, non-spontaneous process, so you must know all these meaning of all these terms. So spontaneous process and non-spontaneous process. What is spontaneous process? The spontaneous process is the process which occurs automatically. Okay, occurs automatically. In simple language, I say automatically. And non-spontaneous process which occurs by with the help of some external agency. With the help. Okay, so it occurs with the help, and it is without help. Okay, without help it occurs spontaneously. Okay, as like some students want to write paper. Okay, write their exam paper, but some need help. Okay, some there is because if they have taken knowledge from books or from lectures, then their paper will be automatically written. Okay, so that spontaneous process, they spontaneously answer some questions out there. But here with some students, the problem is that they require some help. They require some external agency to write the paper. So it is difference between the spontaneous and non-spontaneous process. So in this case, if we consider spontaneous process, I am giving some example of spontaneous and non-spontaneous process. So what is spontaneous processes? Spontaneous process, here this process which occur automatically. Suppose that if consider the roof of the building where tank is there, water tank is there. Okay, so water tank is there, and water is, in simple language I am saying, this water is connected here. Now if water is connected here, then if water is filled into this tank, and water is filled into this tank, which is at height. Okay, the water tank is at height. If water tank is at height, and water automatically flows in downward direction. So water automatically flows in downward direction. So this is what? Downward direction. This is what? Spontaneous process. No need of external agency to transfer this water from high level to low level, from height to downward direction. So this process occurs automatically. So this process is called a spontaneous process, or we say natural process. All natural processes are spontaneous processes, because all natural processes occurs without the use of external agency. They occurs automatically. So these processes are spontaneous processes. So all natural processes are spontaneous processes, and these are irreversible also. Irreversible. The water flows from height to downward direction, but cannot flows automatically from downward to height. Cannot flow automatically. So if we want to fill this tank, again, what is the requirement? Can it be automatically filled? No, it cannot fill automatically. It requires some electrical pump or some any other pump for transfer of water from downward direction to the height, the tank which is situated at height. So to fill this tank, we require pump. What is this pump? This pump is nothing but external agency. This pump is nothing but external agency, and this external agency means if there is a help of external agency, there is help of some another agency is there, and the process is called as non-spontaneous. So remember this example, the water from height to downward direction is a spontaneous process, and from downward direction to the height, transfer of water from downward direction to height is a non-spontaneous process. So this is simple example. I think you have understood the concept of spontaneous and non-spontaneous, because we have to use this word many times. In our thermodynamics. So these are the statements of second law of thermodynamics. Now next concept of thermodynamics we have to study is the enthalpy. Enthalpy is represented by symbol H. Enthalpy is represented by symbol H here. See, we know the statement of first law of thermodynamics. What is statement? Mathematical expression for first law of thermodynamics: Q is equal to delta E plus W. Okay. Sometimes delta is what? It is changing internal energy. Okay, internal energy either represented by E, or in some books U symbol may be used for internal energy. So this is mathematical expression for first law of thermodynamics. Q is equal to delta E plus W. W is what? 1. If you consider pressure volume type of PV type of work, pressure volume type of work, then how work can be represented? Work is represented in this way: P delta V. W is equal to P delta V. This is a pressure volume type of work. Now, if this is a pressure volume type of work, then we can write the statement of first law of thermodynamics in this way: delta E plus P delta V. Okay, where pressure is kept constant, so we can write at constant pressure. We can write QP is equal to delta E plus P delta V. Now, Look, what is this delta E? Delta E is the difference of internal energy of two states. Here two states, EB is the final state, EA is the initial state. So difference of these two states gives the delta E. Similarly, what is V? Delta V is the difference of volume of two states, VB minus VA. If we replace this into this equation, we can write delta E is EB minus EA plus P into delta V is what? VB minus VA. VB minus VA. Now, if we rearrange this equation, EB plus P VB, final terms we have taken to one side, minus minus EA plus PVA. Okay, PVB we have taken here, so EB plus PVB minus EA plus PVA. If you open the bracket, this sign will be remains as initial. So QP here. So these are two terms here. Okay, E plus PV, here final state EB plus PV. So we have to replace these terms. So we have replaced this term by another quantity. So E plus PV, this term, and this is called as H or enthalpy or heat content. Enthalpy. We have to replace this term here. E plus PV. So what is HB? EB plus PVB. And what is HA? HA EA plus PVA. EA plus PVA. So if we replace these terms here, then what is EB plus PVB is what? HB. So QB is equal to HB minus, here what is HA. Okay, EA plus PVA is what? HA. So QP, HB minus HA, the difference of enthalpies of final state and initial state. So we can write, I am writing here, QP is equal to delta H. QP is equal to delta H. So it is enthalpy change. So how enthalpy change is defined? Enthalpy change is heat content of the system. Heat content of, that is QP, heat content of the system at constant pressure. If heat of the system changes at constant pressure, there will be change in the heat content of the system. There will be change in the quantity H. We say enthalpy of the system. So this is enthalpy of system, that is delta H, and it is a state function because it cannot be represented by H only. It depends on initial and final state of the system. So if any quantity, we know that it depends on initial and final state of the system, that quantity is called as state function. So enthalpy is a state function, so it is represented as a delta H. So it is a state function. Enthalpy is a state function. Okay. Now next quantity we have to study is the heat capacity. Next quantity we have to study is the heat capacity. If we want to heat any object or any system, then there is a concept of heat capacity. If we heat any substance, there is a concept of heat capacity.